Welcome. In this video, we're going to talk about some of the most exciting releases that came out in last month, in January 2023. Second Front is a World War II war game. What makes this war game really interesting is that the turn is split into different phases. So essentially you're going to have your own turn in which you can sort of move around and shoot, and then the enemy gets to shoot back, and then you're going to be able to move into melee combat if you're close enough to the enemy, and etc. But then the enemy has their turn, during which all you can do is sort of like shoot back if they're within range, but you can move. So it's kind of interesting that it has these sort of like turn within a turn mechanic, or like phases of a turn. So there's a variety of different scenarios that you can go through and campaign, and you have to finish previous scenarios to be able to unlock new ones. There's also a big sort of like editor where you can make your very own scenarios. Now, if you enjoy war games, I actually have a list of 4 upcoming war games on this channel, so you can check that out as well. Imagine this. You are renting out your flat, and suddenly your landlord comes and says, "Buy up!" So you do. Next week he comes and he increases your rent, and he says, "Buy up!" And you still do, but you're kind of sad. And next week he increases your rent again. What you gonna do? Well, naturally you turn to gambling. Luck Be a Lender is a roguelike deck builder with a slot machine. I mean, different symbols have different effects, give you different amount of money, and certain combinations of symbols can give you a lot of money, and you have to pay this landlord every certain amount of spins. So you gotta figure out how to keep making more and more money so that you can buy up. And it's a really fun game. I enjoyed it quite a bit. And this next theme I talk about a lot on this channel, so you probably know it, but in case you don't, let me walk you through it again. Chaos Galaxy 2 is a pretty amazing Forex strategy game, or grand strategy games. You're going to be choosing one of your 12 factions, and you're in control of multiple planets in space, and you're going to be fighting against other factions until the aliens come, and the aliens are super strong, so you got to figure out a way to stop them. This is a turn-based combat game, and I really enjoy the combat because you're in control of a fleet, but you can also be in control of multiple fleets, so you can have people join up the combat in later turns, which is really fun. And it's just a very, very good Forex game. If you like Forex games, I actually have a list of my favorite Forex and grand strategy games of 2022, so you can check that out. The zombies have come, and you're all that's left, with a vehicle and also a random woman who's helping you out, because of course it's a video game. I mean, always just randomly help out random people. Favorite type of side character, random woman. Chaos is a game that's a twist on a classic tower defense genre that's combined with a first-person shooter. So you have this vehicle in which you're moving around, and it's a first-person shooter, so you're going to be shooting out these different zombies and other enemies, but you can also place or craft different towers that will help you protect yourself. Now, it's fun to imagine what living would look like in different worlds. But how about instead of going that far away, we just go underwater? Aquatico is a survival city builder set underneath the sea. So you're essentially going to be building your own city underwater, and you're going to start by building different like factories, and then you're going to be building these domes where you set up like an oxygen generator where your people are going to live. And the game is quite beautiful, at least from the demo that I've played. Now, in the previous game I said let's not go too far when imagining ourselves in different worlds. So how about we do? Let's go far. We're going to talk about Farlanders, which is a Martian colony city builder or colony sim. And what's really interesting in this game is that there's a lot of focus on terraforming. So essentially you're going to be building this colony on Mars, and again there's a lot of focus on like different factories and manufacturing all the right resources you need, but every few turns you're going to be able to terraform something on Mars. So you can change like mountains, or you can dig up holes, or you can you know, put water somewhere, or like unfreeze a frozen lake, and etc. And this will change significantly what you can build where, because a lot of the different objects can only be placed on the right tile. You get certain bonuses for being near this type of terrain, and etc. Pocket Save is a very interesting game. It's in the Steam description it says that it's a solitaire civilization tabletop game, and it came out to early access on 17th of January, and it's essentially a game where you're sort of trying to spread out your empire. So we have these tribes that you're using to build different cities, and the game is very challenging, and your main goal is just to survive a certain amount of time, because there's so many different events that are happening and they're extremely punishing. So it's really about sort of spreading out, building enough cities, and making sure that you have enough technology to just be able to like stand your ground against these horrible events that just keep coming. So I actually have a guide for this game, because it took me a while to figure out how to at least survive. So it's a really interesting game. Now, I'm sure you think about yourself as a great man, but what if you could be the greatest man of them all? Alexander the Great, of course. And relive his conquests. Oh man. Okay. This is such a strange pitch, okay? Sometimes I come up with a really cool pitch, and sometimes the pitch is a bit all over the place. This one's kind of all over the place, but stay with me. So you're going to be taking control of Alexander the Great, and you're going to be trying to spread out influence as much as possible. The combat is turn-based. A really interesting feature of this combat is that not only does each unit have action points, but also the entire army. You will not be able to move every single unit every turn, which does mean that you have to kind of think about like, what unit do I want to use the most? Now it's time to talk about that girl. Oh, game. I mean game. Okay, the one that's the most beautiful takes your breath away. Look, every time I talk about this game, I point out how beautiful it is, and it has been showing up in a lot of these releases and announcements before, because there's just been releases and announcements about this game. But now the game is finally out. On 24th of January, Mahokenshi's came out into full release, and it is an extremely beautiful roguelike deck builder. Yeah, I talked about this game so much, I just feel like you probably already know this game, okay? But in case you don't, it's a turn-based tactical game. It's an roguelike deck builder. Everything is played on one big huge map. Certain missions have turn limits. Now, if you haven't been living under a rock, you might have noticed that there have been some pretty big advancement in the world of AI, and some people are afraid that the AI will take over. Well, this game is here to tell you that that will certainly happen. Rogue AI Simulator is a game where you're going to be playing an AI, and this is sort of like a base builder in control of base, where you have a few humans who kind of do your bidding, and then you're going to be hacking. And a big part of the hacking is just killing every single person that's around. I mean, technically you don't have to, but it's just so much fun killing them while they're in the bathroom. So yeah, you can play Rogue AI Simulator, and you're also trying to avoid suspicions from your makers. Now, if you like base building games, I actually have a list of base building demos that you can play right now. A Colony is a base building colony sim where it can be played both in single player or multiplayer. You're going to be managing your own unique community. So you're going to start with a single character, and you can build quite a lot of different things in the game, and eventually you're going to be able to get other people to join. You're going to be researching technologies, crafting different weapons and other items, fighting enemies, and just exploring the world. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this list. If you did, write it down in the comments and let me know what is the game that you enjoyed the most in January 2023.